Hello, it's the Behind the Booktube tag, which I'm very behind, very behind Booktube. From my position way back in the bleachers, let me do this tag. This is a tag that is created by Shelley Swearigan, and is I saw it. I've seen part of it on Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, where she started off saying, "Oh, I immediately stopped watching someone doing this tag because I wanted to kind of get the questions out, what the questions would mean to me out without the influence of others." And I was like, "You're right, Kelly," and so I pressed stop on that. And yes, let's dive into the questions, which is probably going to be a bit booktube therapy for me. I have a weird relationship with booktube. And these questions will help me explore that. And then maybe I'll release the video, or maybe I won't, because most of the time I don't. So yes, let's do the questions. Number one, what has surprised you the most about BookTube in both a good way and in a bad way? I think in a good way, it is the community, the kind of the bonding, the number of people you get to know. That's definitely it's books, but it's the readers, and that's the thing. It's reader tube is what this is about, and getting to know people, getting to know about people's lives, getting it's like getting to know the books they love, but it's that prism of book loving that lets you know about the readers. And that's maybe not like you get onto booktube like you get onto the rest of YouTube. I want to know how to make baking soda biscuits. I want to fix the toilet. I want to know if this book is any good. Very kind of utilitarian. But if you hang around enough, you suddenly, that guy who's fixing the toilet, you get into his life. You get to know his wants, his needs, how's his relationship going with his husband, all that sort of stuff. And that's the same thing that happens. That's the same thing that happens on with BookTube. Very, very much, except you don't learn about toilets, which is really a shame. That's a big failing about BookTube. The bad way about BookTube, this is going to be the theme probably for me for BookTube, is I learned about myself being a part of a community, which is I have trouble with community. I have a small limit of how much interaction I can handle. I have it takes me a surprisingly little amount of interaction to be like, I'm filled up, I don't need any more. And that's I think that it's a bad way because it's a self-knowledge. I'm not somebody who has a lot of friends real time, and that's for a reason. In some ways, like, I have my partner, my wife Ja, and my mother-in-law, and it's like I have a lot of interaction with them. I have interaction with people at work, and it's like I don't need any more. I don't feel myself as someone who's particularly lonely because I don't have um, another friend outside of the friend that is Ja. Uh, and I think I find that on BookTube as well. There's like, oh my God, there's this swarm of people, and it's like, this is way too much for me. And that can be flooding, and that can be overwhelming. So it's very specific, kind of a bad thing for me. It's just like, no, no. And I've really struggled with that over the thing. Now, that let's lead into other questions in here, but that's a thing of like, getting to know about myself. It's a good thing or bad thing. It's made me feel guilty about a lot of stuff, about some of structurally how this is a social media experience, and I don't want that much social media. Thank you. Number two, how do you balance reading and booktube with the rest of your life? Um, I definitely kind of wavered back and forth. I would, you get that enthusiasm part in BookTube, and you do a whole ton, and it's like, okay, well, actually, I just sort of cut down. I cut down. I mean, there's a kind of almost like a two-part thing there, because like reading, I've really gotten into a thing now where I read on the weekends. I make sure that I have. It's like I found like, oh, you know what? If I sit down and I read for like, I carve out 2 or 3 hours for myself on the weekend. That's when I'm going to find 2 or 3 hours, not during the weekday when I've got a job and all the other stuff to do. Carve out in the morning 2 or 3 hours. That's like, that refreshes me, and that is really good. Um, Booktube itself, I kind of limit the amount of Booktube I watch. Sometimes I'm not even on Booktube for good hunks of time. I've got a separate channel, and I'm just over there as sort of audience, but I'm not. I don't feel that kind of that pressure of like, oh, I'm watching somebody I know, and I have to comment, and I have to be engaged. And as a C question number one, that didn't work for me, and so that's something I kind of learned. I learned about myself, and then the rest of life is the rest of life, and the most important thing being my relationships, real time relationships, and that's where my big focus is. My big focus should be and always should be, and everything else can just can take the back seat on that. Number three, have you ever thought about starting a Patreon? No, I've not thought about starting a Patreon. I'm definitely would be the kind of person that would be like, okay, that would be turning it into a job. I have obligations. People would be giving me money, and that's kind of like a transactional thing where I would feel I have to put something out, and that would be terrible. That would be terrible for me, and especially as you can see, it'd be like, give me money and then leave me alone. Don't talk to me. That doesn't sound like the recipe for success of a successful Patreon thing. So yeah. Number four, have you made any mistakes on BookTube? Oh, I've made so many mistakes, on BookTube. That would go from getting all my facts wrong about something book. That would be misreading something egregiously. So there's like kind of that nitty gritty of like saying idiotic stuff about a book, and kind of slowly over time that realization sinking in, and then you thinking, oh God, all the other stuff. What is there anything that I have put on this channel that isn't entirely bullshit? So there's that level. And yeah, I think I've made the mistakes of not accepting who I am as a person and trying to push myself past the point of comfortable interaction, limited, like allowing myself to say, you know what, I don't have to do this, and just like accepting that about myself. That's a mistake, self-hurting mistake. I made a mistake. Okay, I have to split this into two. I called someone out for egregious behavior on BookTube in a past BookTube life. I called someone out, and I don't regret that. But there's a part of me that also thinks that was a real mistake for how I sort of soured myself on BookTube in a way. I got whether it was a righteous mob or whether it was a misguided mob or whatever, it was still a mob, and I feel like that was a mistake. And unfortunately I was a part of the ignition of that, and I still just have very complicated feelings about that. And that's even with me still thinking that the egregious behavior should have been called out, but I hated how it developed, and it drew a lot of eyes to me that I never deserved and never wanted, and really just bothered me and kind of killed that channel for me. That's probably why that channel died. So that was a complicated situation, which could be termed a mistake, but is and isn't, kind of, if you know what I mean. Do you have any advice for new booktubers? I think, yeah, my advice for new booktubers are, if you are an introvert like me, be respectful of how much of this social stuff you want to do. And if you don't want to do it, don't. And if it just becomes too much and it's unworkable, walk away and don't feel bad about that. Become a part of the audience, because there are a ton of people out there who are just great at being supportive, being a part of a community, but not having to be kind of fucking the star of the show. And I'm mindful that I say I'm an introvert, but I'm standing in front of a camera yakking. And if I do actually publish this, I'm sort of being introverted in a way. I'm a mixed up introvert. Let's put it that way. If I was just cleanly an introvert, I'd just be living in the woods alone and I'd be fine. But I'm not. I'm one of those mixed up introverts. So yeah, but yeah, definitely just listen to yourself. And if it's not working for you, shut it down. Shut it down. It's in the end, no one cares. And you know what? At one point that would hurt me, like, oh, no one cares. But there's another part of me that goes like, no one cares. I can just do what I want, because I think there's a people pleaser side of me. And it's like, to realize that no one cares is like, oh, there's no one for me to please, so I can just do what the fuck I want. Which is probably why standing in this office talking to a camera is very freeing for me, because I feel like I'm having a conversation with myself, and there's nobody I can read their judgment into what I'm saying, so I can open up in a way that I can't in whatever real time is. So if you also suffer from that kind of condition, this might be a useful place for you to just do some thinking out loud. Number 6, what are your thoughts on the YouTube algorithm? Terrific! Horrible! I don't know! 7A, how do you decide what videos to make? Something just sticks in my head and I do it, or I get enthusiastic and I do it. Yeah, that's about it. 7B, are you ever overwhelmed with video ideas? I think I'm overwhelmed with trying to come up with a way to actually try and find a way that would express it in a way that would engage other people. And I haven't cracked that one yet. And I've been doing this for a while. I have not cracked that yet. Trying to figure out how to reach people is the thing that overwhelms me far more than ideas. Ideas are dime a dozen. Number 8, have you ever regretted posting a video? And I would say go back to number 4, and you can guess my conflicting feelings on that. Number 9A, are the number of views/subscribers meaningful to you? Subscribers is not meaningful to me, especially the longer you go around, the longer you're on YouTube, the more subscribers you accumulate, and the more those are just dead channels. That they do not mean anything. There are people who subscribe for a day and they've never come back to your channel or looked at it. It's meaningless. Views is probably more meaningful. Oh God, probably what would be more meaningful if I wanted to really feel terrible would be watch time. Like, okay, someone clicked on your video. How long did they watch for 5 seconds? Come on. How many of them watched for 5 seconds and clicked away? That's probably it. So now, is that meaningful? Is that the point of why I make videos? It's probably not, to be honest. I'm making these videos, as I said, to kind of work things out for myself. I'm trying to work at getting better at expressing myself, and you know, I that's probably the reason why I'm doing this, and not and someone's really texting me a lot right now and completely throwing me off, but I'm continuing on because if I press stop, I'll have to do this all over again because I do not edit anymore. Number 9B, are the number of views/subscribers a measurement of success? Okay, well, look, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a measure of success, and I'm happy being a failure because as I said about the whole thing of not wanting to interact with people, I can't think of a person who would be less suited to having 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers than myself and having multiple comments on every video. I can't think of a person who would not deal well with that. So having very little subscribers, having very few people comment on my videos is probably successful for me. That is a good thing. That is a good thing for me. Number 10. See, I said I'm going to do this video, so this is unfolding. Are you disappointed by the growth on your channel? No, I'm not disappointed on the growth of my channel. I shut down another channel because it had so many subscribers on it that were meaningless. And so that I wanted to get one where there was less. Now I have a whole bunch of, I have like 80, well, for me, I have like 80 subscribers. Okay, we'll see. If I get 20 views, not watch times on this video, that would be probably about what I get. I've got 20 people who click on the video and then have probably clicked away well before now. And I don't care anymore. I'm a conflicted introvert. I don't know why I post videos. I just do this because I enjoy talking to this camera in this room. That is my measure. That is my measure of success. That is how I am feeling. And yes, I feel disappointed sometimes that, oh, nobody commented on my video. But then someone comments on my video and it's a fucking pain. So can't please me. 11, have you ever thought about quitting BookTube? Yeah, I did a lot when I was really when I was on the wheel, when I was on the wheel and posting a lot of videos. I thought about it a lot. Now that I hardly ever post videos, I'm happy on BookTube. I don't watch too many BookTube videos, so it's like, it's not like I'm quitting. I'm just like, I'm a dallier. That's why that's part of why I wanted to do this. It's just like I'm not like hardcore video a week kind of person. I'm not even a hardcore maybe get one or two a month kind of person. I just I check in. Oh, Kelly made a video that seems kind of interesting. I'll watch that. What's Brian doing? What's Steve doing? Criminally, Vig, but it's like I don't feel anything to like, oh, I gotta watch people's videos, which was a part of the thing that was like, that was a part of the social contract. And it's just like, nah, I have opted out. I don't think I've quit, but I've definitely opted out of a lot of the core things of what is a booktuber. I think I've opted out of a fair number of them. Can I be considered a booktuber anymore? I don't know. Number 12A, what are the most touching comments? It's funny, you go back to number 4, and I think some of the most touching comments were people who thanked me for that. And yeah, 12B, what were the most negative comments? Probably people who were really pissed off that I'd attacked somebody. That and the other most negative comments was probably people making fun of my vocal tics, and then me going, oh god. But I took that one and went, all right, I'm gonna actually. That was someone who was trying to hurt me, trying to poke at me and hurt me. But it was like, okay, I do make a lot of ums and ahs in my videos. I'm going to try and get better at that. I'm going to try and be a better vocal performer. And I've been working on that. Still, I'm sure there's a ton of ums and ahs in this video, but I feel a lot more comfortable about it. I think I've cut it down 50% of the ums and ahs. So I'm fairly happy about that. So that was one where the negative comment was actually something that was I used as a goad. But that said, people make shitty comments about you. They just fuck them. Fuck them, and realize that they're coming from a space that is a lot worse off than you. That people who attack people online, that's a pretty sad place to come from. I think thing is, it's interesting. That's a personality thing of like, oh, what are the most touching comments? And I immediately skipped to the negative comments and how that makes me feel. It's really hard for me to hold on to positive comments because I think there's a part of me that would just immediately discount a lot of stuff like that. But they do make a difference. They do make a difference. They're, unfailingly kind people on BookTube, which, for as much as there's negativity and infighting in this community, as in every community, misunderstandings or really hurt feelings of like really good people who just, for whatever reason, they just weren't in a good mood that day and they took it out on each other, and it's a real shame. I've seen that happen. That was really sad. There's just also kind of you do actually get exposed to, even like an introvert like me, it's like there's really good people out there and you really appreciate them, and the thought that maybe someone listening to me, that can help them, that can make them feel, well, not as messed up as that guy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, number 13. This is an HR question, and I immediately shut down for these kind of questions. In regards to BookTube, where do you see yourself in 5 years, sir? God damn it. Why did this turn into a job interview at the end? I don't know, man. Come on. That's a lot of pressure. Where do I see myself at the end of the week? Maybe publishing this video? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. So, Shelley, thank you very much for making this, compiling these questions. She got it from, this is the other wonderful thing of BookTube. She got the questions because she watched somebody else talking about stuff. I think they got questions from their viewers. I can't remember who it was. Go watch Shelley's video. Don't bother me asking me to remember that stuff because I haven't watched all the videos properly yet. But yeah. Oh God, where the fuck have I gone? I've gone somewhere. And that's the other thing. I think the other thing that the bad thing about BookTube is you learn about exactly how fuzzy your thinking is, how terrible you are at making yourself known. All this comes out when you turn on the camera and you try and string 2 words together. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Kelly. I'm going to go watch your videos now and find out if this dumpster fire it all resembles your videos. I'm sure it doesn't. All right. More videos sometime.